Now, Scizor is a particularly irritating character to fight, mostly because of the playstyle that a lot of the Scizors play. They love to just fly at you without any regard for what they're doing, and they love to do U-turn. So, if you can keep that in your mind, that's the biggest battle, is the player battle. It's not even the character battle. But let's see how to deal with this character. I like to use Emolga personally because it deals with the CADC. However, in field phase, Emolga is pretty useless because Scizor can CADC very quickly to the side and just avoid it. So it's probably better to just pop Eevee. The most irritating thing about Scizor by far is this counter attack. It charges for a very long time, and it also has extremely good range. It just can hit you from so far away. But it's not just the counter attack itself, it's the fact that it can cancel into a CADC from it really quickly. And if you see, after they do that, they can act very quickly after it. So you can like do a CADC and then like move all over the screen. Like, you see that? It's ridiculous, right? But jumping Y is going to track it. So even if it's doing all these shenanigans, flying all over the screen, like it can CADC into a CA and then still keep on moving. But even if it's doing all this stuff, if you can land a jumping Y and you're kind of close to it, and you see that the jumping Y is hitting right as their counter armor is wearing off, then you can just cancel into flamethrower. But don't force it. If it looks like, I think that they might not be in their recovery animation yet, or they're still armoring this, or they still have enough frames, you know, to charge this, because let's see how long this charges. This charges for 55 frames, which is a really long time. So if it looks like you're hitting it kind of early in the animation with a jumping Y, just chill out. And honestly, don't even try to forward Y it too much. I would resort to using forward Y when it's like it's blocked, it's absorbed like a really late side Y. So you did a side Y, like let's say I did side Y over here, and then it was all the way over there when they finally started absorbing it. Then I might walk forward and then do a forward Y. But I don't want to do like side Y and then immediate forward Y like most of the characters. You can go through their counterattacks anyway. Scizor counter charges so long. Plus, you also don't want to like try to outlast with flamethrower straight up. You might want an earthquake, but it can still move away. Mostly, you're trying to focus on when is the counterattack frames done, and then when am I going to cancel from there. So just make sure it's very late in the animation. And in order to practice it, it's not really something that I can just show or demonstrate. It's really something that you need to do in matches because you need to really practice. Some other moves that Scizor has are annoying, which is side Y. The regular side Y is just not a thing, but charge side Y, this thing, if it hits you, you go into this super ridiculous animation where you're just like floating up there forever, and Scizor can homing all the way across the screen. So you really don't want to get hit by that. Now level 3 Blast is going to go through that. The thing with level 3 Blast is, again, Scizor is going to start dashing through all your stuff with CADCs, so you might be burning up a lot of HP. Scizor, be okay with the fact that, yeah, you're going to be in field phase for a long time against Scizor. You're going to be throwing out a lot of projectiles against Scizor. But go collect all of the synergy crystals, the nuggets and whatever you want to call them, while you're moving all around the screen. Throw some back Ys to make it move. Maybe throw. So what I would like to do is maybe throw one back Y, then a side Y after it's side dashed, and then when they start absorbing it really late, try to finish it off with a forward Y to get rid of the rest of its counter frames. So it's really almost impossible for Scizor to get close to you. Like, one of the things that Scizor has that's really annoying is like neutral Y. And you can jump over this because I think it's an actual low. Oh, it starts mid-low and then it goes low. So you can definitely jump over this. You can jump to the side. I personally prefer jumping to the side and use jumping Y with Shadow Mewtwo. But really, the idea is to not get into that range. And DP is another super annoying move. You can't really meaty this. I mean, you can do a side Y, but you can't like do like a side wave slash after. You have to like do a side Y and then like walk back and like really wait for it. So this is a really annoying move to be next to. Even if you reflect a lot of times, you can still get hit depending on how late you are in your animation. So you really just don't want to be too close to it. Some characters, Shadow Mewtwo can like really get up close to them and just like bully them with like neutral Y stuff, but not really so much against Scizor because it can just DP you, and it's you don't want to deal with that stuff. This move right here, super long whip animation. Look how long it takes until Scizor can block. Really long. So if you're walking, you can even sidestep that and then whip punish it. This, actually not that. Hold on. This, really long whip animation. This move, also, very long whip animation. If you have an Emolga, you can whip punish it, but you can use 4Y as well. Look how long it takes until I can block after this. Really long time. So, a lot of these things you can whip punish, but Scizor is mostly going to be, like, CADCing all over the screen. That's what it's going to be doing. And then it's going to try to do, like, this move, which is super annoying. When they start stacking sword stances, and sword stance is done with just 5A, then they can do this into the little swords that come after it. So even if you're in a position where you could normally whip punish this, if they have the sword on them, then they can throw that out. So you just want to make sure you're moving to the side. You don't really want to be close to that. Now let's go into dual phase. Dual phase, this is just all day, every day, they're just going to be doing this. And they're going to be doing a lot of bullet punches as well. How do you even do that? 2A, and then you can do it in different directions. So really, you want to be throwing a bunch of level 3 blasts and then trying to backdash so that you can throw some pillars and get some pillar pressure. And you want to try to bait out some of the, because they're going to love to DP, they're going to love to lunge, and they're going to love their bullet punches. So if you can just, basically, you take control of the screen instead of shout out Mewtwo. You be throwing out your level 2 blast and your level 3 blast. You make it back up and dip so that it is, you know, CADCing backwards, so it CADCs into your pillar. This is a good CADC, and hover is nice, but it can't stop pillar. Like, if it's charging into pillar, you dash up and then you grab it. Now, this lasts for a really long time, so you can't just straight up, like, poke through it like a lot of the other counters, but you can go under it. The problem is they can move while they're doing this, so just make sure you're kind of close when you do it. Slide might not be the best idea. I might do 2YY personally. But, you know, slide, I guess it got buffed and it goes a little bit farther now, so you might want to try that now. But just kind of like let it rock. Level 2 blast is still good though, either way. This move though, if they throw out these swords, it's pretty annoying. And there's not like a clear-cut, easy answer to stop this. It's just a pretty strong move, frankly. And it's pretty good on block also. And some people use it as a meaty. Now, really, you just want to throw out your projectiles first. That's really what it comes down to. You don't really want to have Scizor. Once Scizor starts throwing all of its stuff on the screen, once it starts moving around on the screen, then that's when you're going to be at a disadvantage. Unless you have Emolga. If you have Emolga, as soon as you see it stack a sword, as soon as you see it throw a sword, as soon as you see it lunge, as soon as you see a bullet punch, that's Emolga all day, every day. So if you chose Emolga, then, or even Rayquaza, that's a really good option for you. All these jumps and things like that, they have a lot of shenanigans that they can do in the air. This is actually super annoying. I can't believe this is even a thing. But just remember that they can cancel this going backwards, but really just don't be in this range, in my opinion. Just don't be near there. And baiting out DP is annoying because you can't, you can't shoulder it if it's meaty, but you can vortex it. So if you can get Scizor into the corner, then you can definitely vortex that. Because Scizor's counterattack lasts so long, going for a shoulder is not that bad of an idea because a lot of times you can teleport away from it on reaction, even if you charge into sideway, so you can like see. And don't level 2 blast too close, but if you're kind of far away, again remember that this will combo. Oh, it's not. It'll combo into pillar if you do it from far away, so that's definitely useful. If you get Scizor moving backwards away from you, and every time you see that 6X, be ready to whip punish it early. You have to whip punish it right at the tip, because if you wait for it to throw out the second hit, you can still get hit. So you have to be like at that perfect spacing, or again, pack them over. Jump Y is pretty good against Scizors that aren't used to anti-airing, but if they're good at auto-correcting their DP, they're just gonna auto-correct. So probably chill out with the jump Ys against Scizor a little bit. Burst mode, not really too much any different. Like super, obviously, is a problem. But it's still mostly, the same exact issues. Oh yeah, enhanced, like when it has swords, when it does this. Okay, this is actually important. Mash your punish. So what I would do is, whether it has swords or not, when you see it go up, mash whatever you have that can punish a 20 frame move. Because if they go just for the DP, then you'll punish it as they're coming down, because it's minus 20. But if they go for that slam, which they can only do if they have swords, then it's a true block string, so you're not going to get hit in the middle of it. So that's definitely very useful against Scizor to deal with that. And same thing goes if it doesn't in field. Just mash your grab. If you ever block the DP, just mash, 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 mash. Another thing Scizors are going to do is they're going to try to lunge at you with, what's that move? They're going to try to lunge at you with 6X. This is super annoying, especially because you can cancel this into that and it just goes into a full launch. Stay out of that range, and once you see the first hit whiff, that's when you want to whiff punish. And it's not safe on block though, so if you do block the second hit, then you can just like grab it, or let's see, it's minus 16, so you can actually go for like a 2IY until launch. I'm not entirely sure if you can punish it from all ranges with your 6Y because it's 15 frames, but you can definitely grab it or 2IY. This move pushes pretty far. It's just like Brian's debugger, but you can punish this on block. So it's not really something to worry about too much. It's just not that great of an attack. This move is a mid-low, so but it does pierce. So if you see it, just jump over it. Scizor can backdash out of it, which is kind of annoying. But I think for the most part, like if you see it backdash, you can also reflect, and then you can kind of mix it up like that. But I think mostly stay out of this range. If you see it charging this from like mid-screen, what I would do is I would back up, and then if I have Eevee, I would start throwing pillars at it. But you know, it can obviously it can dash, and if you see it dash, then you know you act accordingly, and then either don't go for the pillar if you see it move. But this is your opportunity to build space when it starts charging this. If they can land the just frame on bullet punch, sometimes if you're not like mashing, then you're not going to trade and they're going to come out first. So really what I would do is I would just like, as soon as you're blocking that bullet punch, like mash the crap out of this. Because if you like hesitate, you're like, oh wait, I got to punish it now, then you might get hit early. So yeah, like that. Reflect is a pretty good option if you're there. If you're like kind of close up, then you can go over all that stuff and then you know go for whatever combo you want to. But yeah, that's the basic way to deal with Scizor. Remember that pillar is super good against it to make it move, and that a meaty pillar is great because even if they DP, then that's gonna hit them. So those are the ways to deal with Scizor. Next matchup.